I'm Cassie. Welcome to our first episode of Just a Quick Detour. Behind the camera is my fiance and travel partner, Ryan.
Hey everyone, I'm more of a behind-the-scenes kind of guy, so I'm going to leave most of this to Cassie.
We're going to be traveling all over the place in this series, but we wanted to start right here in our hometown, Pittsburgh. Now, everyone knows what Pittsburgh is best known for. It's steep roads. Okay, well, maybe Pittsburgh is better known for some other things, but it does have some steep roads. Not just steep, but literally the steepest. I give you Canton Avenue. To get to Canton Avenue, it's just a quick detour from downtown Pittsburgh. Head out through the Fort Pitt Tunnel, take the Banksville exit, then take a left off of Banksville onto Coast Avenue, and just a little down the road, up on your left, is Canton Avenue, the steepest commercial road in the United States. There's houses on the street too. Like, can you imagine being a kid and this is the street that you have to learn how to ride your bike on? Canton Avenue is 630 feet long, or roughly the length of 1,680 permane sandwiches laid side by side. Its biggest claim to fame is this 21-foot stretch right here, where it reaches an incredible 37% grade. To put that in perspective, you've probably seen signs like this on the highway warning trucks about steep grades in the neighborhood of 8%. Well, this street is 37. Now, the question I'm sure you're all wondering is this the steepest road in the world? The answer is close, but no cigar. Oh my God. Baldwin Street in Dunedin, New Zealand is currently the Guinness World Record holder. We'll explain more about that in a few minutes. There's also a street in Hawaii called Waipio Valley Road that actually has a section of road that's steeper than Canton, but since it's restricted to four-wheel drive vehicles only, it technically doesn't beat it. And this street, it's not even concrete. They don't even pave it. It's these stones. And they're not even flat, and there's moss and dirt, and they're falling all over the place. Like, I can't even imagine what it would be to drive this in the winter in Pittsburgh. His GPS said turn down Canton Avenue. He made the turn, and he said nope. He did it! Woo! They truly looked afraid as they were driving by. The girl looked at me out the passenger window and went...
Didn't know what to think about it at first, but kind of backed up a little bit and thought it through and just decided to drive up it. Yeah, I was debating. That's why I backed down. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. You only live once. It's not like it's a brand new truck or anything.
It's a very YOLO hill.
Yeah.
It's got a real YOLO vibe to it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
In general, this neighborhood, Beechview, has some of the steepest hills in the city because unlike a lot of other Pittsburgh neighborhoods, Beechview is designed as a traditional grid system, except that grid is laid on top of a bunch of mountains. I don't know whose idea that was. So for all you people who say, why can't Pittsburgh's roads be designed like a normal city? This is why. You get roads like this.
What's the best strategy for getting up?
Just gas it, I guess. I mean, my car has four-wheel drive, so.
You're prepared.
Yeah, I was prepared.
You had to bring a special vehicle to take on this hill.
Maybe. I'm from Texas. I just bought that like 2 days ago, and then
So you brought it up here to field test it on the most challenging roads in America.
I guess.
And what good is having the steepest road in the U.S. if you can't make people ride bikes up it every year?
When I moved to Pittsburgh and decided to be here, somebody said, you better learn to love hills. You're in Pittsburgh. Love them, or you're gonna be miserable. And I was like, you're right.
That's where the Dirty Dozen bike race comes in. Since 1986, on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, the race has been giving cyclists and or daredevils a way to burn off that turkey gut with a tour of the 13 steepest hills in the city. So technically it's a Dirty Baker's Dozen, I guess. Now, I just had to know more about this race, so I stopped in at Trek Bicycle Pittsburgh Shadyside and met up with Suz Falvey, an avid cyclist who's always up for a challenge and rode in the Dirty Dozen in 2016. I wanted to know what it was like to take on what we thought was the ultimate challenge. Hill number 9, Canton Avenue. And the answer surprised me. What was it like taking on the steepest road in the United States?
Well, it was exciting because it's the steepest road. And like I said, I was up for challenges. So like, the steepest road. Canton was not bad because it was short.
Wow.
Then one of the toughest ones was Eleanor over in the south side.
Really?
Or Bousted. I had to go off on a side street and then turn back on to like get back into the groove of climbing that, because it was really, it just went on. And Canton, it's steep, but it's short.
Didn't expect that. So Canton Avenue, a apparently not too bad. Or maybe Susan's just really good. From this video, it doesn't look that easy. Now I definitely can't ride up this with a bike, but I still wanted to get the full Canton Avenue experience. So I decided I'm just gonna run up this as fast as I can. I downloaded a fitness app so we can see how many calories I burn. So let's see how it goes. Let's go. I feel like I'm going backwards a little bit. I'm actually gonna fall over. Did it. 4 calories. 4. We're gonna have an extra M&M for dessert tonight. Susan showed us some pictures from the race, and we noticed that her bike looked quite a lot different from everyone else's. That's because she took on the Dirty Dozen on a fat bike. Those are off-road bikes with really large tires, usually wider than 3.8 inches.
The fat bike was a little heavier than a normal road bike. But like I was saying earlier, like the gearing on my bike was for mountain bike gearing, so it's for hill climbing. The tough part was keeping up with everybody in between the hills, but that really wasn't an issue. I had, slick tires, so I didn't have knobby tires on it, so the resistance, so I was riding like a mountain bike geared road bike, but they were almost 4 inches wide.
In addition to pictures, she also showed us a special keepsake from the race.
I look at these every day because those hills were very hard. So, but
it's gotta be inspiring. If you can do that, if you can take on the Dirty Dozen,
exactly,
you can do anything.
Exactly.
Then, as we were wrapping up, she casually dropped a bombshell.
It's either Ferndale or Dornbush, and they're right over in Homewood, and they're steeper. That's the underground knowledge.
Hold on. What?
Okay, so we just started bombshell revelation from Suz when we were doing the interview at Trek. There's apparently a hill that is steeper than Canton Avenue in Homewood, which is a neighborhood in Pittsburgh. It's unofficially steeper than Canton, but we're going to find it right now. We're headed to Homewood now. This is it. It's one way.
Whoa. Down. Oh my God, look at this. Dornbush Street, very, very steep. All right, here we go.
All right, we're gonna drive down Dornbush.
Okay, so Susan wasn't kidding. This hill was seriously steep. But was it steeper than Canton? Well, we found a document on Carnegie Mellon's website that had a list of the hills which were measured by the Surveys Division and the Snow and Ice Control Program, which are part of the Department of Public Works. Canton was on there at number 1 at 37%. Dornbush here came in at about 32%. Not too shabby, but not quite as steep.
We're headed to the second one now, called Ferndale, which is, just 2 minutes away here, which Suz said is also extremely steep.
Here is Ferndale. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I feel like we're gonna flip over.
Okay, this is pretty tough on the legs already, and we're not even at the steepest part. Ferndale. This has got to be it right here. This is very, very steep.
Yes. It's so awkward.
Feel it in your glutes.
I feel like this is over twice as long as the steepest part of Canton Avenue, this steepest part here. This feels steeper and longer, it's steeper for a longer time. So did anyone know how steep Ferndale is? First, we reached out to another cyclist on Reddit who posted this video using Garmin's Verb Edit grade feature to measure it, and as you can see, it gets as high as 35%. But Verb averages the grade over a distance longer than the steepest part of Ferndale, so if it was steeper, that short segment was being averaged in with less steep segments. So we called Pittsburgh Public Works. They forwarded us along to the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure. They told us that they had never measured Ferndale, and also...
It could have originally been a resident-driven campaign to get Canton's designation. He says the city does not keep a database of street grades.
Or at least not for a while. We looked back at that Carnegie Mellon document and realized the two lists they were working off of were from the Post-Gazette in 1984 and the Pittsburgh Press, which isn't even a thing anymore, back in 1987.
So that lends itself to suggesting that could be other streets out there that are steeper than Canton Avenue.
So since no one had bothered to measure Ferndale, we figured, why the heck not? We'd go and measure it ourselves. That weekend, we were hosting a party at our house, and Ryan's dad told us that he had all the tools to do it.
So here's the deal. You'll notice that we didn't give a measurement for Baldwin Street earlier in the video. That's because its official Guinness World Records measurement is 35%. So now I know what you're thinking, how is that the steepest street in the world then if Canton is 37%?
That's because Baldwin Street was given the title in 2020 after Guinness revised its measuring standards. Now, for consideration for the record, the grade is measured over a distance of 10 meters down the center line of the road. And in 2020, Baldwin Street stole the title away from a street in Wales using this new method. It was a whole thing.
And so Canton has never been measured by Guinness, at least according to Pittsburgh Public Works. And we know for a fact that the steepest part of Canton is only 6.4 meters long. So if a measurement was done over 10 meters, that is using the Guinness World Records method, then what would the grade be?
There was only one way to find out. First off, Canton Avenue. When we got there, we again found visitors trying to climb it, which was understandably much trickier in the rain.
Oh.
First, we wanted to do a test measurement to make sure our method was sound, since we knew that the number we were looking for was supposed to be 37%.
0.37?
Oh, baby, that's it! Woo! 37%!
It worked! And that 6.4 meter section on the side of Canton Avenue is indeed 37%. But next up, it was time for the Guinness method.
0.3125.
So that's not as steep as Baldwin. So Canton Avenue, we did a rough measurement using the Guinness standards, which is 10 meters down the center of the street, and it's only about 31%.
Next up, Ferndale Street. Again, we started with a test measurement using just the level.
It's 39.
39%! Using the same short distance method that gives Canton its 37% grade, Ferndale calculated out to 39%. It's even steeper.
Canton has been beaten. Ferndale is clocking in at 39%.
So as far as we can tell, Pittsburgh and the United States have a newly crowned steepest street. But what about the world? Next up was the Guinness method, pitting it against Baldwin Street's 35%.
How's that looking? Is that about level?
It's like 90 and a quarter, 90 and 3/8. So that's going to be 90.375
90.375
divided by 240.
37.6.
That's higher.
7.6.
That's the steepest street in the world.
37.6%! Could it be that by taking just a quick detour to Canton Avenue, discovering the Dirty Dozen, and then interviewing Susan, we were led to a secluded corner of Pittsburgh where the steepest street in the entire world has been quietly hiding this whole time?
The measurement we got, steepest street in the world, for at least 10 meters.
Yep. So at first we thought we should contact Guinness.
But Homewood isn't our community, and we didn't want to cause a stir on a street with a bunch of private homes on it when it really wasn't any of our business to do so.
So we're gonna reach out to a local community group there and let them know, and from there we'll see what happens.
We'll keep you posted with any updates. And this is just the first of many, many exciting detours we'll be taking here on this channel. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.